This is Brian Drummond here, the OG voice of Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, and you're watching Anime Secrets. It's over 9,000!
Hello everyone, oh my gosh, thank you so much for waiting and for being so happy and just excited to be here. I am too, my name is Stephanie, I'll be your moderator and have a very special guest. Everyone please give a big Pasadena welcome to Todd Haberkorn! Hello, welcome.
Check. Hi everyone, thanks for being here. Sorry, I had no idea I was supposed to be here, so I apologize.
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're busy, you're excited, people are waiting, you're everywhere.
But this is good. Thanks for having me. I need one of these screens in my office.
Aren't they cool?
Yeah.
And then you get different colors every time. I was like, I'm kind of like recording.
Yeah, you did a good job.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Tech Crew also. The Tech Crew is always the unsung hero of good panels. I'm looking around this crowd, and you don't know the dark ages of conventions when the tech was. You remember back in the day when you had computer speakers this big? That's what you had for a convention Q&A. And it wasn't like someone was in there working it. It was me walking in going like, oh, those are the speakers? Where do I hook them up to? That was the first 20 minutes of a panel, was figuring out, can you hear this? Can you hear this? Does this sound okay? So you guys don't know those days. Maybe some of you do. You remember those days? Oh yeah, much better today. We didn't. This wasn't even like, this was like from Krypton. Like we didn't even have this yet. But I'm gonna follow your lead. You're the boss.
We are spoiled then. I have to mention, I had a mom come up to me earlier. Mila, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. She wanted us to say happy birthday to Mila.
Happy birthday. I was just talking to someone else whose birthday it was, and they were looking at their birthday as like a burden. Because they're like, oh, they hit 30. It's the Kratos. He's like, I'm 30 now, and oh, I can't believe it. But you know what? With birthdays, you gotta think about this. How many days of adventures are between each birthday? 365. And if you make it 365 days, 365 levels of success to get to your next birthday, you better celebrate that, right? That's what you gotta do. Because, and what I told this Kratos, because some people, I can see on your faces, some of you are like, birthdays, yuck. What is more powerful in a video game? Your level 1 character or your level 30 character? Right? So that's yay birthdays. Hashtag love birthdays. Yeah.
I'll look at it just like that.
Yes.
Well, we will be taking your questions, so please feel free to line up. And, I love it. Usually it's so
Right on. Good to see you again. Yes, she did. Oh, well, I feel like if you're gonna do the 100 Years Quest, you can't call the previous season the final season. I feel like, were they trolling us with that? I don't know. But the 100 Years Quest was a lot of fun because it was a continuation of a role that I've done for a minute, and also I got to pick the studio where we did it at. So I was like, let's do it where we do Destiny 2. And so we got to record it there. And it was great. Every week I would go in and work with people that I've worked with on so many different projects. And the studio that we do it at is where they would also record Invincible. And so I'd be coming in right after like Seth Rogen, or right after Jeffrey Dean Morgan, or J.K. Simmons, who's Omni-Man. But yeah, a lot of fun. I'm ready for more. There's very few. I can't think of any project where I would be like, I'm good on that. Like it's always a great adventure to get on. I'm like very grateful for it.
And out of all the lines that you've done a lot of lines in Fairy Tail. Which one do you think would probably be your favorite out of the all?
I mean, any of the attacks, because I grew up watching a lot of action cartoons. And so anytime I get to do that, I'm game. So in terms of a favorite, ooh man, that's a tough one. I mean, we've done 2 movies and 352 episodes. So it's tough to think of a favorite.
And I've seen all of them.
I love it. So you're ready for season 2 of the 100 Years Quest. I guess, see right there. Season 2 makes it sound like it should be really season like 17, really. I feel like. Whatever comes next.
I've actually read the manga too, so I do know what comes next.
Okay, I'll be ready, Riley. I'm ready to, because I know Ignia is going to be back, and I know who wins that fight.
That's something I don't know.
Oh, okay. Oh, well. Look at me. But I hope you enjoy it when it comes out. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Bye.
Hello.
Hello. I would love to know about your early days, like how you got into voice acting.
Well, voiceover actually was something that I never thought I was going to do. I came to LA to be an on-camera actor because I was doing on-camera before that. So I started in stage, then I went to on-camera, and I was doing on-camera, and then then voiceover found me. But on-camera so this is what I was telling Mrs. H yesterday. I was like, everybody does their bad horror movies before they go into their other stuff. So it's like Jennifer Aniston did Leprechaun, right? Matthew McConaughey did Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4. I did my horror, and then I was like, but then right when I was starting to do this, boom, voiceover came. And so then I was like, okay, with voiceover, let's just see where this goes. And I'm like, okay, well, because when I was a kid, I was made fun of a lot for my voice. So I didn't think, I had a mental block. I was like, okay, voiceover's not even a thing. And also, I didn't know voiceover was a thing. So when I watched like Batman the Animated Series, X-Men, I was like, okay, Wolverine shows up at work, he does his scenes, and then he goes home. I didn't know that there's, like Cal Dodd goes into a studio and they record X-Men. I didn't think about that. Because you just don't, I was an only child, so like I didn't have like adults around saying like, that's a cartoon. And people voice that. Nobody said that to me. So I'm just like, oh man, what's it like to live in Magneto's house? Like you just don't know. So then when voiceover came along, I was at Funimation, which is in Texas, and I was there all the time. And so there was a period there where for 5 consecutive years, I was the actor, male or female, that logged the most booth hours for 5 years. And so I felt like I hit a ceiling. And I was like, let me go to LA and test it out. And when I went to LA, obviously very scary, because again, by myself, only child, that's it. And my mom was very much like a, if I walked into that door back there and it's like, poison gas started coming through, I'd be like, Mom, help me. My mom would be like, well, you better figure it out, son. That's how my mom was. As opposed to like, oh my God, let me get my son out of there, my only son. That was not my mom. So it was really like on my own. So that's how it started in LA, but thankfully, and what I would tell people that want to get into voiceovers, I did a lot of research beforehand. I went out to LA for like a research week where I met with studios and I said, hey, I'm coming out here, just letting you know. Da, da. So it wasn't like this romantic, like, sitting there on the couch watching something. It's like, I'm packing up all my stuff in a big bandana on a stick and I'm going to LA. Like, no, that's the recipe for what we like to call failure. And so I tried to do as much prep as I could, and then I made it out there, and that was how many years ago? That was when the iPhone, what year? That was that was shortly after the iPhone came out. So it's been a minute. But yeah, thank you.
Awesome, thank you so much.
question about Natsu's relationship with Gray. And that they butt heads all the time, but still respect each other in a way that's competitive.
So, yes. I think as long as we always recognize that Natsu is always stronger in every single way than Gray, I think that's where we can have some copacetic, interactions. But I mean, really, honestly, Gray and Natsu are kind of cut from the same cloth. And so I think that's why they butt heads a lot. But also because Natsu is just so impulsive in every aspect of life. And so I think it makes it hard to, you just gotta, I think he's one of those friends where you just gotta be like, you know what, this is what I'm gonna get out of him. I'm gonna get property destruction, violence, and open-toed shoes. And as long as you understand that, and that's all you expect, then you're good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Actually, I have a question. I'm aware that you voiced Dragneel.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you, do you have any favorite lines or moments from him? He's like one of my favorite characters.
Well, thanks for playing that. For me, my favorite moment was after we finished recording. The creators, they go, "Do you want to see the end of the game?" Because if you've played that game, it's unorthodox. And so at the end of that game, they showed me the ending, and I'm like, "What just happened?" And they go, "We don't know." And I'm like, "Didn't you make this?" So that was my favorite. Like, how do you spend that much time on something and not know? So that was my favorite mystical moment.
Okay, do you have any favorite lines?
Favorite? What's your favorite?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't remember saying that. But I think anytime I had to do that laugh, because we didn't know what the laugh was going to be, because when we record a video game, typically we hear the Japanese and then we give our variation of that. It just has to fit in the time. Sometimes, like a lot of times when we do video games, it's timing. When we work on Street Fighter, it's timing. You got to match. You have to be within a certain amount of range to match the time. So, but there are some games where they time it to you. Like when I work on Destiny 2, they time it to me. When we record, same thing with anime, we have to fit it to the visuals. But when we record like Ben 10 or Sophia the First or Scooby-Doo, it's like we set the timing. So when we did the laugh was pretty different in the Japanese. So I was just like, all right, well, looking at him and kind of knowing his vibe, I think it's gonna sound like this. And then so I spit it out and they liked it. So I think anytime I had the laugh was my favorite. Thank you. Hi.
So I have two questions. So how do you relate to Natsu?
I think with Natsu, I am always impressed with his endless barrel of hope that he pulls, his energy from. And I think I relate to that because in order to do some of the things that I feel like I've been fortunate enough to do in life, I've had to weaken the word no that I've heard. So I've heard a lot of no's in my career. Can't do that. No, that won't work. You're not going to be able to pull that off. And if I didn't have that same barrel of hope firing me up, I would have been like, oh, well, I'm not going to do that. I've literally been in meetings where the agent goes, we don't know what to do with your look. Or you don't have blonde hair and blue eyes, so that's probably not going to work. They told to me, not as a joke, but just very much it ain't going to work, but you don't look at you. And so I'm not offended by that per se, but I use it as okay, now you've set the challenge, now I'm gonna beat it. And so that's pretty much, so basically spite and hope have been my best friends. So yeah.
Okay, so I know you
Oh my, so if those two met, I mean, I feel like Death the Kid would be the first one to have a heart attack. Because Natsu, I mean, I guess in order to find like a neutral playing field, they'd have to go to a restaurant, because there's something that's not at the DWMA, something that's not at the Guild Hall, just a neutral space. They go to a restaurant. And Natsu would order a bunch of food, and then when the food came out, he'd start eating it, and getting his tummy's gonna get real big. And then Death is going to be sitting there judging the lack of symmetry that he sees before him. And then there's that vein, that Death the Kid vein is just gonna grow in his head and explode, and then he's gonna have an aneurysm, and then his dad's gotta come down and revive him. So I think that's probably what would end up happening. Thank you. Hello.
Guys, it was an honor to meet y'all. Thank you for coming to Pasadena, Texas.
Absolutely.
Born and raised here.
Oh.
Pasadena, Texas, and I live in Pasadena, Texas. So
Thanks for the hospitality. Appreciate it.
it's a dream come true. So a question for both of y'all is, do you guys plan on doing you guys voice on like your favorite portion books in your house?
Oh yeah. If I can find an action figure for any of the characters that I voiced, I'm gonna get it. Like after we did Transformers, they showed me the toy line, and I said, well, I gotta get Shockwave, and so they go, Target has just one more, and so I raced over to the Target to get him. And then when we worked, there's a show that we worked on called Tenkai Nights, and I went to the warehouse where they make the toys, and I had to get those. And then the one that was the hardest to get, there was a companion robot called Mechanoid that you build, and it's a programmable companion that you talk to it, and if you're like, hey Mechanoid, dance with me, it starts dancing. Hey, tell me a joke. It's like, hey, tell me about the moon. Tell me about. And so we worked on that a lot, because that script was like 2,500 pages, because we had to anticipate every single thing you'd said. And then one day when I was leaving a session, I was in the parking garage and they have a TV in the lobby, and I'm like, I hear myself, and I'm like, what? And I look and the toy's being reviewed on CNN, and they're doing the toy, and I'm like, it just made me I got frustrated, because I'm like, they told me they were gonna give me one of those. So the only way I got it is I went on eBay and I got one, because every time I saw it in the store, I was like, nope, they're gonna give me one, I'm not gonna get it. And then by the time I realized, I don't think they're gonna give me one, it was already too late, so I got it on eBay. So I definitely get all the toys. Thanks for being here.
What about you?
Do I what?
Look like any of your equipment?
No, but I'm about to start after this, I promise.
And I know, Todd, you voiced Ouran in the Tekken Bloodline.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, do you ever play the Tekken video games?
I did play the Tekken games. It was a lot of fun to work on that series. That was one where we did it at a studio where we record Destiny. And so it was fun it's always fun to work on franchises that I play, like, you know, having been in Tekken and then also Street Fighter, so a lot of fun. And then Persona, so a lot of fighting games. So yeah, very cool.
Awesome. This last question is, can you voice Red Alert from Transformer Trilogy playing Red Alert Transformer?
Oh, so I'll do it in two ways. So the first way was as Red Alert. So Red Alert, transform. So that, he did it, I did it in that way. But they asked me if I wanted to audition for Optimus Prime. And I said, no. I wanted to do it as a fan, but I knew they weren't gonna pick, I don't know, I just knew they weren't gonna go. And I was like, they asked me multiple times, do you want to audition for Optimus Prime? And I said, no, I'm good. And then as I'm driving home, I'm like, I should have done it. But Optimus would be like, Red Alert, transform and roll out. But I didn't do it. I was like, no, I can't. And I think I should have, but oh well.
Awesome. Thank you for answering the question, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was told we have 2 minutes. We're going to do like a rapid fire. So.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. So you've done a lot of characters. My question is, if you have a conversation or take any type of advice on any of the characters that you have voiced, who most likely not take advice from?
I probably wouldn't take advice from Sergeant Frog. Unless it's about chores. But I would take advice from, and this is not the end-all be-all advice. It's like, okay, you have some good nuggets there. I'd take advice from Batman. I voiced a Batman toy, where I was Batman and the Joker. And so I would take advice from half of that toy. Yeah.
One more question. You guys do voice Hikaru in Pokemon X, Y, XYZ, which is like a very series. Which Pokemon do you think would go better?
I mean, my favorite Pokemon was who I got to use when I was Tierno, which was Squirtle. Because especially in LA, we need all the water we can get. So I'm all about that Squirtle life. Yeah. Thank you. Hello again.
I just have one.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of characters. What is the most like deep cut? Oh my god, you recognize me from this whole thing you've been recognized for?
Oh my gosh, deep cut. I mean, Mr. Knickerbocker is a pretty deep cut from Barney. So Mr. Knickerbocker was always sung about, but never seen. I was the first on-camera variation of Mr. Knickerbocker, and the only Mr. Knickerbocker. So when we did the song, y'all know the song, right? Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker, boppity bop. I like the way that you boppity bop. That was me. And so we did that. We did that with Barney and Baby Bop and it was a crazy 5-camera shoot, but it was a lot of fun. But that's probably the deepest cut. Yeah. Hello.
I don't really have a question. Well, kind of debate. Which stronger, Death Kid or Goku?
Death Kid or Goku? Ooh. Well, I feel like literal pound for pound Goku, but Death the Kid, even if he died, my ace up my sleeve is my dad is death. So he would just be like, you're back, you're back, you're back. And eventually Goku would just get worn out. And then I would poison one of the senzu beans. And so it'd just be, eventually, I would wear him down and beat him. But stronger off the bat, Goku. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Todd. Thank you so much for joining us. It was an honor. Everyone, please give a big round of applause.
Thank y'all for being here. Yes.
For joining us from Pasadena.
Thank you for having me. Y'all, and before y'all go, thank you for being here. And it is always so amazing that, these conventions are not easy to get to. You gotta take time off work. You gotta figure out what you're gonna cosplay as, where you're gonna stay, how you're gonna get there. And so thank you for doing that and taking your one weekend to be here. Because that's what makes it happen. That's what makes it possible. So it's great to see you and thank you for watching and playing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Todd. Thank you.